Hello, this is Boss Hack 14, and about about Mayweather. So before I go into detail, I just want to thank you guys for your support. Um, Popular, but I don't subscribers. I mean, support. Um, but yeah, um, school. It was around. Most of you guys have seen Tech Community College, and so I walked up to the and as usual, and I've seen a lot of students in this taking time. So actually, nursing, um, the nursing class was a nursing class until I found basic is I did in what this was because it's kind of I mean most of the events that were it's like a lot of chairs and tables at that meeting um all they announced like I think around and walked around and one girl was pointing at me uh, pointing at me. It was like why does he have that cell phone? And some of the students were uh, they're wondering why and without their and I came back um, saying that faster of some sort. No, they were on breaks. Uh, I was gonna ask in class. I mean, most of my videos I am a lot and try to step up and to prove myself. Uh, can I say? I was going to ask at first, but then I realized didn't want to like disturb anybody. I didn't want to like disturb anybody. So I've just looked around the hall um, because I was gonna go in. I was gonna go in, but I actually did go in because I thought they were on break. So I did get a look. I did get a good look at the hall. Inside the room where when normally when most of the time events come up. I thought this was some sort of graduation at first, or some event. Uh, yeah, it's been like a few months ago or so. Um, and then and more students actually started to notice that I was just standing outside of a nursing class, and I didn't know they were on class. Like I said, I was just concerned and confused around the same time. Words can't describe how concerned I was. Um, but I do know this. So anyway, when I came in when I start to came in the room, um, and filming this area on on my phone, on my cell phone, and then I asked, what is this meaning about? I'm just wondering what's going on, because it's kind of unusual to see this to see this classrooms going around, and one girl answered my question, and she said, it is a nursing classroom. and and I said, okay, thank you. And she said, yeah. And a lot of people stared at me. um and then I mean, technically, in my perspective, a lot of people said that, but it a lot of people said that it's probably not a good idea to film there if you know that if they're in class or not, if it's some sort of event or something. Um, Especially when you're filming at college, when you're if you're going into a class. Um, I mean, like I said, I was just viewing the hall inside, inside, just like I explained. So anyway, and then I walked out. Nobody said anything to me. Um, they didn't tell me to stop filming them. A lot of people, I mean, most of the times, people are just afraid to speak up because what it seems like that they don't want to pursue or something. And one of the individuals start to get uh, to get um to get the campus security involved, and one of the students start to get the campus security involved, which is a police. And then I went to my class, uh, which is psychology. I waited for some time, and I've seen a cop outside of my classroom, and then he knocks on the door, and I was told to come outside because he wants to talk to me. When I first met this officer, his name is Lieutenant Young, Kyle Young. Um, I was a little nervous at first because I didn't know how to express it. Because I was too nervous to say anything to him about if I kept saying the First Amendment over and over and over again. A lot of times people would say, "Look, I don't want to argue with you," um, and I don't want to argue with them either. So, um, I do have footage on my Google Drive, but and along with Erica Spear, who was in that process, and then after we came into a private room, and then he said, I got this on film as well. And then he also said, I got my camera on as well. So we're both in the same setting. I think there is a difference between a body camera working for law enforcement and just and myself filming with my cell phone. Uh, and don't worry, guys. I do plan to get a body cam on Christmas. Uh, I will talk to my relatives about that. See if they could get me a body cam camera of some kind instead of like the cell phone kind. A lot of you guys are interested in seeing that, so I'll try to make it. Yeah, I will definitely make that happen. So anyway, the officer started to ask my name and my date of birth, which I didn't do anything wrong. I mean, technically, I mean, most of the time I was told that filming is not illegal. And then, and he said wearing a mask, um, not a COVID mask, but a mask. It's kind of like where robberies are involved. When he starts explaining about the robbers are about to commit a crime. He explained that, and he did explain a lot about it in detail. I did wear a mask. I did wear a ninja. I did wear a ninja mask. Um, Even if I didn't have the mask on, it would still be the same response as I get. Um, so yeah, and then I took it off after I did that, and then after I've walked outside and walked outside of the nursing classroom, and then I think one of the students explained in my misconduct case hearing, which is my appeals hearing. So um, yeah, I think one of the students, I think it's a black African female, and she said something about a break time. Did you assume that there was some sort of break time or something? So that's what it seems like to me when I first came in there, and it seems like they're still working, but because a lot of people were walking out of the nursing classroom, and then it sort of and then it sort of backfires, I think. So yeah, anyway, I didn't really have to give him my date of birth because I didn't do anything wrong. I was just filming for safety purposes, all on the First Amendment right. I even told him that was my First Amendment right. And he says, "Well, I get that, but it just makes people uncomfortable." You know what I'm saying? But I'm not gonna lie, he was very cordial with me. He was very nice to me, but he does understand. He does understand about it. It just makes people uncomfortable. Which, well, I mean, uh, I mean, they can feel uncomfortable how they want. If it's like, um, if I was filming too close, um, yeah, that's sort of the case. Um, I was like 10 feet away from the nursing classroom, and then the more that I came in the room, uh, I can see their facial expressions to show how uncomfortable they were, and then it seems like how I did it is that they never really the cops and the cop and Erica Spear, they never explained how I filmed them. Um, well, the way I filmed them is that I filmed them with my front pocket shirt. It seems like they noticed right away that I filmed them, and that's kind of like that's kind of rare. That's kind of rare though. But yeah. Anyway, and then he said, "You don't want me to come back, and the more calls to me, I've got to be able to talk to you." Okay. And then he said, "If you cannot do that, that would be really appreciated." Uh, but again, no arrest was made. Um, yeah, it's definitely similar to on August 1st. I will get into that in a minute. But yeah, Erica Spear was also very nice as well. She said, "Well, in specific rooms, um, we can't come in here and just film everything, even though it's on, it is on considered on break." So, Jennifer Copeland and Mike Benjamin found out about this. I mean, it could have been Mike Benjamin to actually talk to me about it, but he had to go to a funeral. So that's why Kyle Young was there to take over, because Mike Benjamin had to go to a funeral for a relative of his. I'm not exactly sure what. But I didn't record the whole misconduct case appeal. I I didn't want this to be boring or anything, but I can only film the snippet of it. It's kind of like a short. I don't want the video to be I didn't want the video to be that long, cuz most of you guys will be bored by it. So yeah, anyway, sorry guys, I'm just fixing my computer. So after Jennifer and Mike has explained, I mean, on May 7th, 2024, Jennifer and Mike had a meeting with me. She made that meeting with me along with Mike Benjamin. He's the director of public safety, and he did explain that it's not illegal to film, but not coming in the classroom approach. I even explained that as well. So these people were very cordial. Um, he didn't pursue about the date of birth thing. You know, I can tell. I can also tell he's been a police officer for many years. I've heard. But yeah, um, everyone that works in public safety, they were actually police officers. I found out um, after I had this after I had this meeting, even though I had this meeting with Jennifer and Mike. But yeah, so the college has charged me with disorderly conduct. Well, even though I wasn't actually yelling or anything, that's just how they call it in college. Um, which I never really understand. I never really understood at first, because I was kind of new to this. I didn't think I didn't think the word charged. So being charged means that you're going to jail for disorderly conduct for shouting out racial slurs or racial epithets or something like that. But in college, they do things a little differently. They don't actually take people to jail just because that person has filmed outside of the classroom and coming in there. He even said that it's not even a level of a crime. And I think Well, the reason why he said it is because I asked them, am I gonna get exposed for this? And she said, no, you're not going to get exposed for it. And the body cam that Kyle Young has, he was never going to release the footage online. He was never going to do that. Well, except for myself, because I have to address this in the professional manner. If you guys think I'm wrong for if some of you guys think I'm wrong for coming in here to film this nursing classroom, or if you guys think I'm right for um, explaining what I did, if you guys agree with me, then well, not necessarily the coming into classroom part, but but admitting what I have done to to come into this to come in to this nursing classroom, especially admitting that especially admitting everything that I had done. So yeah, on May 24th we had a misconduct hearing. You will find that in some of my videos. One of my videos are called Meeting, and then if you guys want to check it out, go browse my channel somewhere and type search box meetings. So and like I said, if you guys have any additional advice, just let me know. I will try to do better. I'll try speaking up, but after that, I haven't filmed any classrooms after this incident. After that incident, I mean, yeah. So yeah, on May 21st, we had a misconduct case hearing, and then yeah, a lot of people were there. I believe I believe it was more than 10 people, and they explained who they are. Um, like I said, you can one of my videos says about meetings or something. But yeah, they explained the whole process. They asked me a lot of questions. Do you film for your own? Do you film for your own safety? About the First Amendment right thing. I answered a lot of questions about it. A lot of people start to some of the students were starting to ask questions about uh, did the students tell you to stop filming them? Yeah, yeah, sort of. Yeah, just like I explained earlier, people. It's not. It's not people's right to say anything to me directly. It's kind of like people say it's not their place to say anything to them to the individual that just filmed and walked into a room. Well, in my perspective, she could have actually told me to get out and stop recording people. I mean, she could have done that, but she was but she was, she was kind of too nice, if that makes sense. So, yeah, sorry about that. I dropped something. Yeah, one of my pillows were falling down, or I'm sorry, one of my stuffed animals were falling down. So, yeah, I need to wash my hands after I get this done. So, what do I want to say? So yeah, on August 1st, 2024, I walked. I mean, a lot of you guys have seen. I mean, a lot of you guys have seen my interaction with police along with other stores that I went to. So you guys know I went to these stores already. I went to News and Company. I went to Dollar Tree, and then I went to Ulta Beauty, and then I went to Then lastly, I went to TJ Maxx to look around the new fall items that they got, and I was there for at least for probably more than 10 minutes. So so everything went fine until the end until I left the store. I was just viewing um around the employee hire said that they were hiring more employees. So I put my camera down to my side, or I'm sorry, my cell phone to my side. I keep calling it a camera. Um, and 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 that male Karen was believing that I filmed his kids. Um, I didn't respond to him because I was just on my way home. I didn't say anything. I mean, like I said, I didn't say anything to him directly. It's just not my place to say anything to him directly if um, until he starts asking me a question about well, actually, then I think you got one in Mill Karen. Besides Mill Karen, he gets angry with me and he approaches me and said, "Hey," very loudly, causing a disturbance. I never made any disturbance, but technically he was because he was shouting, and the other guy came out too. I think it was a group of guys. Um, I think one comment says something about sounds like they're teenagers. Yeah, they could be, or something. But yeah, um, words can't describe how words can't describe how kind of embarrassing it is because one of the guys starts actually saying that I was a predator, which no, I'm not a predator. And then he starts to falsely accuse me, saying that I took pictures of his kids. Took a picture of his male took picture of his kids, the male Karen. Um, I didn't know it's not taking pictures. It's taking. He did acknowledge about videotaping. So the male Karen knowledge about videotaping, but the black African male looks like a teenager. Then he starts to falsely accuse me, saying that I touched his child, which I didn't. Um, but yeah, it was kind of embarrassing. A lot of people weren't around that time. I think there were a couple of guys that were following me, and the male Karen called the cops on me, and then I just walked away. I didn't say anything too much. So what I said to him, and he asked me the first. Then he tells me the first thing I want you to do is stop, and I never stopped. I kept going because I wanted to show people how people can be when they're not on camera. So some of the guys understand where I'm coming from. A lot of the guys think some of the guys think that I'm a chronic masturbator just because I filmed someone's butt. No, that's not true. I was just filming because I want to view more items that are available to the public. Um, so certain items that we don't see every day, if that makes sense. So yeah, the guy asked me to stop, and then and he said, "Get back." And then he comes up to me and said, "Do you mind explaining me why you're videotaping?" He was kind of concerned. He was very angry at the same time. He was concerned and angry at the same time. And I just said, I was just filming for safety. I said, oh, well, I was just filming for safety. And then he said, oh, no, you knew this wasn't a good idea. I'm like, sir, I was just filming for safety. Because these guys are making false accusations that I've um that I've that I've approached your child. No, that's not true. I was like 10 feet away. I was like 10 feet away from this individual. So why is he falsely accusing me being a child predator just because I filmed his kids? That doesn't make me a predator. I'm just filming what's available to the public and items that are and along with other items that are available to the public as well. So why would he think that I'm a predator? Why would he think that I'm a child predator? Like that's not true. I would never it seems like he's mad. It seems like